Me this opportunity. Of course, I give honor to God, Pastor Bellinger, Lady Todd, my husband, and I just want to just share with you just for a few minutes. So the topic that I have been given this week to speak on is spiritual growth in the workplace. We know that this year our ministry is focusing on 2024 with being the year of spiritual growth. So I have the topic of spiritual growth in the workplace. When I got this topic, I knew it was about to go down. Because God always is going to test and give the word to us, have us walk it out, and then He allows us to be able to minister it to others. So, needless to say, we went through a few challenges this last week, but God blessed me to be able to overcome them all. So, whenever I think of spiritual growth in the workplace, I feel like it's God is going to use us spiritually, and of course He will always use us practically. So today I just want to talk about both sides for a minute. I'm going to refer to my husband's, one of his favorite scriptures is Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringing him before great men. I love the New American Standard Bible version. It says a person's gift makes room for him and bring him before great people. And of course, I always want to see the good in everyone. I believe that if God has allowed me to be in a position of management, is so that I can recognize the good in people and we can build upon it and we can be successful. So my philosophy, just from the practical view, I work in the nursing industry, and I'm a manager in it. And what I believe in is educating, training, equipping, and accountability. So whenever I'm faced with a dilemma or I have to see why is this work not being done in an area, I ask God, first of all, is this spiritual? Am I dealing with a spirit? Or is this just practical where a person may need help? And I believe that we're all in one of these areas every day. So educating, you would think that the schooling process would educate someone to prepare them for the workplace. And that's true. Nurses, certified nursing assistants, you're going to get your education. You'll have to demonstrate that you're competent. You'll have to take your test. You'll have to pass it. Then you get your certification or you get your license. And that's good. So I believe that you should come to the facility, I'm going to use nursing since that's where I operate in, with having a minimal education that you're supposed to do to be able to do this job. Well, that's fine. But now you're going to have to get some training. That training is going to consist of learning the philosophy, the mission, the vision of the facility that you're in, the company that you're working for. And then I'll also say the training as knowledge. They're going to give you the knowledge. Wisdom is how do you apply the knowledge that you learn and that you have. So, for instance, someone may catheter. You need help. The person need a catheter to be able to pass their urine. You've learned about it in school, but if you're going through your training process and you may not work with a person with a catheter, so therefore you have the education on what to do with it, but you don't have the training. So whenever something is not being done, you have to ask, do this person you really been trained in this area? You've been given a promotion. Do you really have the training necessary? And if not, okay, let's start from there. And then the other part is equipping. I can't ask someone to take someone's blood pressure and they don't have the necessary tools to do it with. They don't have a stethoscope. I can't ask someone to make sure that the facility is cleaned and that is presentable, and I don't give them a broom to even sweep or a mop to mop. So I feel like I know my responsibility is making sure people have the necessary equipment to be able to do the tasks that I'm asking them to do or that's expected of them. So if vital signs weren't taken on someone, is it because they don't have the equipment? you would think that people would ask, but you hear a lot of times they already know. They already know. Okay, so let me bring this person in. What do you need to be successful? Because I noticed this wasn't done. And then I believe in it after you've ensured they have the education, the training, you've given them the necessary tools they need to be successful. Now I'm going to hold you accountable, because now you should be able to do. We've demonstrated it to you. Now you should be able to do what you're supposed to do. And I always tell everyone, if I ask you to do something that you're not able to do, come back and tell me immediately. Do not leave me under the impression that it's being done. Now, I know I have the responsibility to inspect, because I believe people respect what you inspect. But a lot of times when you're facing that difficult challenge in your workplace, it's because we're not identifying the root of why is this not being done? Why is this person acting this way instead of the way we should be acting? So I believe all of that, to be able to identify where someone is, to be able to be successful in the workplace and be able to stay where God has brought you for and to open up those doors, is spiritual growth. We have to have spiritual growth. We have to be able to pray and say, Lord, what spirit am I dealing with? Is this spiritually? When you may be facing attacks of slander, you might be facing attacks of retaliation, you might be the center of the topic of gossip. You know, certain things, it would just be spiritual, and you just pray, and that takes spiritual growth, with knowing that it's a spirit in operation within a person. So you don't attack the person, you attack the spirit by prayer and by using the tools that God has given us. So when I hear spiritual growth in the workplace, I always try to say, Lord, use me. How are you going to, I'm open to be used. And that can be spiritually. He can use me to pray with someone. He can use me to intercede for someone silently. They don't even know that I am praying for them, but he's showing me stuff in the spirit. And then practically, let's talk. Where are you? What's going on? And especially if something is out of character for someone, that's not the time to bring them in and hit them over, you know, and hit them and just beat them up and beat them down by saying negative things to them. It's okay. I showed you how to do this. Is it an accountability problem? So I believe that we're all in some stage every single day. Even we have to give account to someone for something, and we should constantly be in a period of growing spiritually, and we should always be seeking what God's plan is for our life in our workplace. But thank you for just listening to me today. You have a